This is where I tell on Joe. Joe kept getting distracted by the Twitch chat last week. Yeah, but you need to put him in this corner.
Did I? I think I did rather well of weaving it into the podcast.
Oh, that's what we're calling it.
Well, that's better than ignoring what's going on in order to talk to chat.
See, there you go. Calling me a monster again. You hear this, Ibit? I mean, there's nothing I
Well,
can do right.
look at
Part
what's
of me
behind
thinks I
it.
should just stay out of it.
All right.
Takes a monster to have a monster in his background.
Oh, why that? What is going on?
Makes me think of that song by the Avenue Q, the parody. Everyone's a little bit racist. Can I attend your monster school? No, you're not a monster. Well, that's racist.
Isn't it more speciest?
Everyone's a little bit racist sometimes.
Come on.
Doesn't mean we go around committing hate crimes.
You
have you
never
not
cease
heard
to
that
amaze
song?
me.
I haven't seen Avenue Q yet. I've heard the internet is for porn, but I think that's the only Avenue Q song I've heard.
The only Avenue Q song I've actually heard.
And it left the Venetian before I had a chance to see it.
Yeah, the only one I've actually heard is Everyone's a Little Bit Racist.
Oh, you know what? It might be. So I ended up getting a new phone 2 weeks ago. Yep, that's what it is. Is I had to do a new phone capture because it's a new phone, and that's why it's not showing up. Hey, everybody!
What kind of phone did you get?
It's a long story, but the XR. It was a free upgrade. Buy one get one free.
That's what I'm looking at.
I like it.
AT&T next thing rolls around.
Verizon was like, "Hey, you want a free upgrade? And it's buy one get one free." Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll hang on to my X for the next 10 years, probably.
Yeah, I actually went in
4 or 5 years.
Get the kids a phone, which kind of backfired, but that's not for here or there. All right, there's the game. All right, boom. There's the game. Now everybody can see it. All right, guess we're ready to kick this thing off here. Hitting record. Hope everybody's doing great tonight. We're running a little behind. Had some business to talk about, and then we got distracted. And it is what it is, but away we go. Hello, and welcome to the Pokemon GO Podcast, your number one source for news, reviews, tips, techniques to help you catch them all. And most of the time we get it wrong, but we try because we have big hearts and we want to.
I think we're right more often than we're wrong.
Not according to a single iTunes review. But that's what I base all of my actions on is one review. Now, moving forward, I'm not going to podcasting and overreacting. Charles McFall.
He doesn't take anything personally, guys. Nothing.
Never. All right, sorry. Bye-bye. No, I mean, admittedly, I get a lot of stuff wrong. But Joe R., the man who keeps us in check with the facts. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Had a Mountain Dew just a little bit ago. It's going to be great.
Oh, poor Ebbet. I had a 5-hour energy. The parent of this podcast who will have to turn it around if we don't quit, Brian Ebbet.
Drinking some nice water here. Caffeine-free, sugar-free, amp, energy-free. This is 5-hour drink, 5-hour water right here. In 5 hours, it'll still be water.
I want to change your official internet title from nicest guy at podcasting to better than everyone Ebbet. Because you really kind of are. I mean, look at you racing, doing the 2,000-mile bike ride or whatever it is, drinking water.
150 miles, but okay.
And you got a blinking Spider-Man. Makes you cool.
That's right.
It's awesome. All right, let's get into the show, man. We got some experiences this week, and I did not come empty-handed. Mine was this morning, as a matter of fact. I pull up to work, and I see a shadow. And it's the cousin of Gary. It is the Cranidos. You know, Gary Dose and Cranidos. They're cousins. They're all right. And I was like, man, every time I look at this thing, it's like on the other side of town. And I'm usually trying to walk into work, but I'm actually a little early today. And it was right around the corner. And so I put it in drive, went and parked in front of the Pokestop, and popped up and got a Cranidos today. Now I'm gonna have to walk it for like 3 years to get it to evolve, but I got a new shadow taken care of, and I'm happy. What have you guys got done this week?
Well, I'm going to talk about my experience from yesterday because that's about as much as I've really been able to do in the game. Busy week, but I did do the lunch hour yesterday. Went to Golden instead of doing the Arvada group. Might have been a mistake. There's a little bit of a cliquish group going on in Golden. This this roving band of 40s that just kind of turn up their nose at any interlopers that may have come from the other side of the tracks in Arvada.
You can't, not even if you're level 40. They just
Not even if I'm level 40. They
it's
like,
just didn't quite reckon. Did you tell them you knew Terry Wolf though? Did you drop that name?
No, I actually sat in my car. I was like, you know what? It's pulled
see
up.
that works for everybody. Like, no, I know Terry Wolf.
I heard about. I know I should have used the Terry Wolf. No, I don't know if you heard about our Bomb Cyclone Part 2, but
no, I did not.
Hit with another big blizzard yesterday.
Oh, really? I honestly had no idea.
Really?
Yeah, no. I have been out. I've been busy.
How much of that makes it across the country? Yeah. But well, we were supposed to get another massive blizzard yesterday, and I'm looking at the my outside cam right now, and half of my lawn is green. You can already see the grass because the blizzard melted away most of today.
So it was a high of 82 here today.
Okay, all right.
See, I didn't pull that card. Not
anyway.
So how was it in Golden?
It was good. There's a bunch of gyms that are relatively close together. So another group from Arvada and I started out at one gym and kind of made our way around. And I had 2 accounts. I think some of them might have been playing on 3 or maybe even 4. So there was a little bit of a time difference. And we were all in our cars because of the weather. So we don't know when person B was moving to the next gym or me, or anybody else is moving to the next gym. So basically it was just a matter of, all right, I'm going to the next gym. Oh, there's 8 people in the lobby. Great. And we would just jump in and do that. So I did, I only got 7 raids in and 6 Giratinas.
Well, that's more than Charles does in a year.
Yeah, that's fair. That is quite true.
The best one I think was I don't know, percentage wise, not great, high 80s, low 90s%, I think. Kind of like the weather in Tennessee. 89 was the best one I got, a 14, 15, 11. So great attack and defense, marginal stamina. But I mean, there's still the rest of the month. I can still go get another one. But it was fun. It was kind of cool. I didn't get to do the previous lunch hour deal they had because of the weather back then too. It was middle of March, and it was the other blizzard that we had. Happened to be that same day. How about you, Joe?
You get a lot of cold up there. I'm just saying. I don't understand this
Colorado. Question. I mean,
Well, I got another shiny Aeron. That's my fifth.
The red-eyed Aeron.
Yeah,
I never get those.
Well,
I shiny check every single Aeron that I see.
In June, why don't I trade you one?
There you go. Sounds good.
Speaking of which, it was decided after our recording that all 3 of us are planning on going to Go Fest this year.
Cool.
And what day are you planning on? Saturday?
He said Friday.
Friday. Okay.
Friday.
And
I've got my plane ticket, so I better get a ticket to Go Fest at this point. But I'm actually, because of the way my Frontier miles worked, I actually had free miles I could use. I'm like, oh, I'll just use it for this. They're expiring. I got to use them. But Frontier miles are restricted to late nights and early mornings. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to fly really early in the morning, get to Chicago at 9, go straight to Go Fest, do all that, and then go back to the airport and fly home. I have no hotel or anything. I'll be able to do lunch and dinner with you guys, but no overnight.
Wow, that's even worse than I did, Ebbett.
It is.
That's like a 12-hour turnaround.
But I'm paying $12 for the flight.
$1 an hour. That's all we're worth, Joe. That's all we're worth. No, I'm just kidding. I'm glad that you're going to be able to make it, and we can do anything together. That'd be fun.
Absolutely, yes.
So then, Joe, you said you got it cleared, right? Yep. You worked out all the logistics so that you'll be driving up.
Yeah, assuming tickets come in appropriately, Charles and I are planning on driving on Thursday, being in Chicago on Friday and Saturday, and then driving home on Sunday. Right?
Yes, that's
Isn't that the plan?
That's the plan.
So if Brian's gonna be there Friday, how late is your flight on Friday?
10:30 or something.
10:30.
Yeah.
So we'll probably try to do a early dinner meetup with people,
There we
like
go.
right after it, because I want to say it ends at 5. I'll have to look at the specifics. It was either 5 or 7 when the event ends for the evening.
Cool. Well, keep in mind,
but-
I won't have any luggage, so I
Yeah,
won't have any bags to check, so I can literally go right from the Uber right into the airport and right to security.
You're not
Yeah.
you're not taking the GSTU jet. I mean, that's very green. That's very green of you, Emmett. but,
No,
you know.
Mike Woodard had that thing borrowed out. He's
Yeah.
going to Ibiza. Not Ibiza, but Ibiza.
I just pictured him at a rave. Oh, I love
Glow
Mike.
sticks.
But yeah. Hey, I bet he would light it up too, man. Mike's the man. It's funny.
he'd go
so-
full Iron Man 1 on it.
Right.
Deleted scene.
So there you go. For the first time ever, all three of us will be in one geographical location, and it happens to be related to the game and the show you're listening to. So
Yeah,
it's
and I'll
gonna
finally
work
get to meet Brian.
Yeah, I know. After how many years of doing this show?
out. You-
Almost 3 years.
He's like 5 foot even, but don't say anything. He feels sensitive about that. So just so you know. All right. Well, did you get your experience out, or did you jump right to the plans?
So yeah, I caught the shiny Aeron, another one of
got that.
those, and I had fun catching a bunch of different bugs, bunch of different scythers, and I've confirmed. I don't know if I mentioned on the show or if it was behind the scenes, that we have a single spawn point nest at my work now.
Yeah. You said that I think last week maybe.
And it's a shuckle nest now, that single spawn point. So
All right.
maybe I'll actually start getting candies to power up my 100% shuckle so that he can, have that just over 300 CP glory. So
Shuckle may have his day still. They may do a update on him where he's that superpower that he is in the lore.
OP Shuckle.
no, he's not OP in the main series either. Like,
Oh, I
I
thought
thought-
he was. I thought
I
that
thought
was the deal with him.
if everything lined up exactly right, he could be OP.
Okay.
But if you were actually fighting anybody and not like, if you were actually fighting a trainer, whether it be PvE or PvP, it's not going to happen. Basically, you have to manufacture the scenario.
okay.
It's not something that you can just pull off.
I gotcha. Well, since we're talking about our plans coming up, let's jump into Go Fest is back in Grant Park, and which we were talking about that somewhat, Joe. Last week you were trying to figure out exactly where it is, and I told you that was the original. So for us, says this may actually be a good thing. Honestly, I don't see how it could be a bad thing because it wasn't the park that had the issue as much as it was
The Wi-Fi.
just the
infrastructure.
Wi-Fi and the
And
exactly.
logistics.
Exactly. It was just first time out. Sometimes is a rough time out.
Mhm.
Yeah, so Grant Park is considerably smaller than Lincoln Park. But to compensate for that, which this is all conjecture, but I'm assuming to compensate for that, they've made it 4 days where you can still only go to 1 day, but basically doubling the amount of people
Right.
to compensate for the smaller size. And they talked about how last year at Lincoln Park, they walked 13 miles the day that they were
Wow.
there. And I mean, it wasn't a small trek. I want to say it's 3 miles long, Lincoln Park. So that means they walked the width of the park up and down twice. So they walked
Yeah.
from one end to the other end
And
and did that again.
Grant Park is not tiny by any means. I mean, it's the best way I can measure it is like if you can throw a frisbee, you can cover a football field. Length. If you throw it right, you can easily cover the length of a football field. You couldn't throw the frisbee from one end of where we were doing the event to the other. It would take a number. I mean, I don't know how many miles it is, but it's not small. I mean, I don't think it's quite as big as Lincoln Park. It sounds like, but by no means is this, hey, I walked 5 minutes. I walked, here, now I'm done. I walk back here, now I'm done. It's still a decent, adventure, and you're not crowded on top of people.
And is the thing with Grand Park that it's got natural borders around it so that they can keep people from just hopping over a fence and
they had it gated out last time.
Last
right?
year they actually had it gated. Not last 2 years ago. Yeah. But it does have some trees and stuff. I think it was temporary fencing maybe.
Okay.
But what they've done is you can come, but there's no reason for you to because nothing will spawn there.
Oh, right.
Zone.
Yeah, you've got it's because of the code on your phone that allows you to do all the stuff in game.
So essentially, I think if Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you were saying that basically they will code it to where nothing really shows up. Or at least last year, even though we didn't have an official word, it was you had to go 2 blocks away to raid, and stuff really wasn't spawning. If you weren't in the event, stuff really wasn't spawning where you were.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah,
there were no gyms in the park at all. So at GoFest 1, the one that you went to, they had gyms because they released legendary raids that weekend. And so they had gyms and everything, and it was a disaster because cell service was horrible, and they were using the features that consume the most bandwidth, and so it was just the perfect storm of what.
Spaghetti-O. Break right here.
That many people concurrently, as much as they would need to. But in general, at GoFest 2, the one I went to last year, they had done a lot better having the mobile, what do they call them? Cows, the cows. They had the cells on wheels cows there, and they actually had some it was spotty, but they had some Wi-Fi. If your cell signal cut out, you could connect to the Wi-Fi. But like I said, that was a bit spotty. I connected to it once because my cell signal wasn't working so well for about half an hour, and I could catch some stuff during that half an hour. But they did a lot better than what I heard from GoFest 1.
Because they didn't even put out the cows the night before because they thought that it was supposed to be storming all day, and it never came out. So that alone probably helped the coverage. And then of course and admittedly they made major changes to where you had to log in. It was all open. They made effort to make it better. So hopefully just every year will get better.
I know one of the things that people who had gone to both that they missed at GoFest 2 was that central stage. There was no central stage last year. Just because it was so massive. The park was so big. They had basically 2 staging zones, but they didn't have a full-blown stage at either end.
They really didn't need it, to be honest. I mean, they kind of came in as a festival because I know it's Pokemon Go Fest, but they were going to have big screens and a show that they were putting on. And honestly, that's just not what the people want. It's not what the game's about. And ultimately, it backfired because of the issues. I think if you didn't have the issues, then it would have been probably an amazing show, but it's still unnecessary. So I'm glad that they cut that. And I mean, they ate so much cost on that because I've worked on the other side of that. So I know roughly what they ate to have an empty stage all day. They probably said never again because of that.
And if they do have a stage again at Grant Park, I wouldn't be surprised if they used it for a PvP tournament.
Yeah, I could see that. So it'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting.
That way it kind of can cater to who prefers just to go out and walk and catch and who wants to be competitive. And so it'll be good.
It will be fun. And I honestly, I kind of hope they do, so because I'd like to get ideas on how to run a good PvP tournament, since that's what we're talking about doing at Dragon Con. I mean, I've got basic ideas. I've seen like Sweet 16 brackets, and it's fairly straightforward. But it's good to see one or being a part of one before you really
for sure
try to launch one.
Get an idea of the best way to kind of seed teams or seed players and stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
So, beyond that, no real big news has come out from Chicago about the fest as far as any kind of launch dates or anything, right, Joe? We don't have
ticket availability.
Yeah,
or
Yeah,
anything
tickets.
like that.
yeah. As far as ticket availability, I haven't seen anything. So if any of our listeners see something, go ahead and shoot that our way because I don't want to miss it.
You know what? Go over to r/Pokemon Go Podcast on Reddit and put it in there. That way you get full credit easily, so we don't forget.
There you
And
go.
the rest of our listeners can see that ahead of time before the show actually comes out.
Yep. And I
With
did see,
regard to Pokemon Go Fest tickets, if you see something, say something.
well, and I did see someone else stating that they would be purchased via the app, but I still haven't seen anything official from Niantic. And so if someone knows where they've specifically stated that, I would love to have a source for that as well. But yeah, I've seen. Well, we mentioned before it was Pokemon Go Hub, and I think it was a Polygon
That sounds right.
one that I saw where they've both said that the tickets will be purchasable within the app. And so that's the theory. I think that when that happens, we're going to break Niantic's servers, but it is what it is. Well, I guess this will be good load testing for how well their servers can handle.
And I do hope that, I mean, Joe, you were talking about limiting the level of account you have to have. I mean, I think you'd have to at least be level 5 because that's where you pick your affiliation is level 5. But I think this is a step in the right direction. We'll see if it works. You never know. But I'm not going to hold it against them if it doesn't work because I believe they're trying to take out all these scalpers. That makes this thing sell out so fast because it's so cheap or affordable, I guess I should say. But then people like us, I don't know that we've ever gotten a straight ticket ourselves. We've had very awesome people grab extra tickets and make them available to us each year. I don't know that we've been able
I
to buy
got
our
a
own.
media pass last year.
Yeah.
Which I need to.
But that came late, right? Like it was so long.
Yeah.
Tickets became available. It's like you wouldn't know not to buy a ticket because the media pass came so late.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
I'll have to check and see if we can get media passes this year.
Along with them trying out new ways of selling tickets and whatnot, they are still experimenting with lunch hour legendary raids. Did you guys get to go for the original form Giratina?
Did you hear my experience of the week, Charles?
He wasn't.
Well, no, I was listening. But you know what? Ibby's like, hey, look, Charles, here's a legendary invite you can't use. Ibby always goes to these. He's like VIP legendary. I'm not assuming you went for the experiment. I'm just assuming that you're invited to everything because you're Brian Ibbett.
Oh yeah, no, that was the whole thing. I went to Golden for lunch hour yesterday, but it was blizzarding, so I stayed in my car and just drove to each.
I got all the rest of the details. I just didn't catch the lunch hour. Now you're being distracted by the lack of facts. Moving on. What about you, Joe? I guess you were at work, so you didn't really get to test it out.
Actually, on Wednesdays I work from home, so even further away from any gym.
Yeah, you said a gym is pretty far away from your house, right?
Yeah, it's at least a 15-minute drive to the closest gym.
Because you work at home and it's really impossible just to get in your car and go up there.
So difficult.
Yeah.
No, actually,
I imagine the chat room's just yelling at me right now because I'm calling you out and I never go to these things.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and this weekend is actually every 6 months we do a huge implementation weekend, and that's this weekend. So I've just been slammed the last couple of weeks.
I gotcha. I can't remember what I did yesterday, to be honest. I know I worked on. I could have gone. I had a slower day. I forget. These things are. I'm used to not being able to do things, and just kind of in a habit of that's cool news and moving on. That I could have gone, and I imagine there would have been a group around where I was easily to go and do some raids, and I wish I had gone. Now that I realize it was yesterday, but yeah, I missed out. Do we have this link here? Is it just helping us remember to talk about it, or does it have anything about like results? No, this is just the announcement.
Just talking about it. But Eddie Pena in the chat is saying that a lot of people in his area were having connectivity issues.
Oh, really?
Their games were crashing during the event, and apparently there's a rumor that there were also issues with the lunch hour raids canceling out EX passes, negating them from getting handed out this week.
Jeez. Okay.
Would that by history, would this be the week they usually drop?
Oh, they drop them like once a week.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah.
Because I heard people were talking in our Facebook group in Arvada here about getting EX raid passes today. So,
maybe Eddie just
like
isn't good enough.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe Eddie. Right, exactly. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Sorry, Eddie.
Of course, you know I'm jesting, Eddie.
Of course.
So, all right. Man. Yeah, that'd have been
Lol,
that'd have
says
been
level 38 player. Savage Eddie.
Yeah. All right. So we know we can get Smeagol by taking pictures for a Pokemon. I saw.
Smeargle.
No,
this
no,
isn't
no.
The Hobbit. This isn't Lord of the
it
Rings.
totally is. When you get him, what do? Oh, he's your precious. He's like, oh my God, I got him. He is Smeagol all the way. Or I guess that makes him the ring, but it's a play on the name. But the new thing that they came out with, we've talked about Lucky Friends, which hopefully we're going to get into how it actually works. But now you can do avatar poses, which is kind of fun too. Tell me about that.
I've not played with this feature at all.
Yeah, not at 500 coins a pop. It's
Is
not
that
fun.
that's why I haven't played with it. I didn't realize it cost gold. Forget it. Gold for me is buying incubators, and that's it.
That's fair.
Oh, you should have bought that team medallion. Switched on over.
No. Why? I'm already the best team. I'm already Valor. I don't know what purpose there would be to switch over to any of the other so-called teams.
Speaking of incubators, I'm trying to get to the point where I have 9 10Ks.
Oh, nice.
I'm just about there.
Together, you have 8 of the 9 right now. It looks like.
Yep. They need to do some kind of event between now and Go Fest where the first spin a day gets your free incubator. Because other than that, I'm gonna have to spend some money when I go to Go Fest. There's no way I can go without an incubator in tow.
I'm apparently trying to get 9 green eggs.
Well, to each their own,
Yeah, apparently that's that. Without trying, that's apparently what I'm accomplishing. So,
yeah. So the poses, they've got one where your avatar is holding its hips, standing there with your hands on hips, and then what I call the Black Widow pose, where you're just showing off your rear.
Okay.
One where you've only got one fist on your hip.
Can I see these if I go to the store?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you can show them for the stream. There's one where you're holding the Pokeball like you're taking a bite of an apple is what it looks like to me. And then the standard one.
Oh, so the Superman.
Hit the shop now button. There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. The stream's a little delayed
through the poses.
Yeah, so you should be caught up here on the stream. Hopefully, there's the Superman.
We should automatically get the ones that look like the ones we're doing on our T-shirt, on our logo.
Yeah,
that's right.
So is this the Black Widow one, Joe? Where you hold the
That's the second one. Yeah.
Yeah. Then there's the. Hey, I don't know how to stand like a human being.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. I was catching Pokemon.
Then the left hip stance is what it's called, but it's very much the Star-Lord. It's a little weird stance. All right, that one's okay. That's called the Pokeball grip, where you're about to throw it and you look like you're in action.
No, it looks like you're about to take a bite of it like it's an apple.
It does kind of look that way, yeah.
It's the secret ingredient.
Oh my God! And then there's just I don't know what to do with my hands, and that's the normal one. Idol is what it's called. Interesting idea. Don't care.
Yeah,
but it's not for me. I'm sure there's plenty of people who are like, oh my God, this is
it's
more
people who like
customization
skins and stuff like that. I think what we'll probably start seeing is poses tied to events. So maybe on Earth Day they'll have a new pose where it looks like your dude's picking up trash, or maybe on maybe on Arbor Day there'll be a giant tree or something, pose like a giant tree. I'm sorry, am I distracting you guys from the chat room?
I'm not in the chat room. I'm actually trying to look to see if I'm doing something in my game while you entertain and educate the people, Emmett.
No, but I'm sure there's someone that had, like you were saying, they could do all these different themed ones for Arbor Day or whatever.
Right.
But I was just thinking, how much I'm
the
wondering,
tree?
and I'd have to go and look through it, but I wonder how many Pokecoins it would take to buy every customized options.
Oh,
Well, that's at
geez.
least $2,000, if not a little bit more, because I think I went through 4, maybe 5 poses.
Well, that's just the poses,
Right.
like all the different outfit options,
Oh,
everything. Like,
holy cow, dude.
Different
Yeah.
colors you can get for those. Manders asked if they stand in those poses when you put them in a gym,
Yes.
and Shiftwork says yes. So that's how other people see them. Otherwise, they're really just
Yeah.
for you.
According to now, it's up on the screen now. According to the in-game news, it's stand out at the gym or on your friends list. It'll be in raid lobbies, in gyms, and battle previews. Your avatar will do that.
So in raid lobbies, the other people you're playing with can see your pose.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. All right. Great.
Yeah, and so every time I accept a gift, you'll see that I'll see that person's one. Now,
Yeah.
what about the lucky friends?
Yeah, so Lucky Friends is a brand new mechanic that we hinted at. What was it, last week or 2 weeks ago? Because it was found in the code dive. But basically, a best friend can become a lucky friend if you perform an action that would normally increase your friendship level. There's a chance to become lucky friends.
And that's trade, open a gift, team up in raids and gym battles, or challenge each other to a trainer battle.
Or
you have
send
a
them an
chance.
EX raid pass.
Yeah, but... Well, we're not best friends yet, so. But,
Yeah, there was one guy that was like, "Is someone holding your experience hostage? Send them an EX raid pass so that you can trigger best friends with them."
Oh,
That's
nice.
hilarious. Because
Yeah.
they can't like sit there and just hoard your present unopened, basically keeping you from being able to do it. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So and I hope they've fixed this.
Yeah.
But apparently it was glitched for the first little while, where even if you became lucky friends, there was a chance that it wouldn't be a lucky trade.
Oh.
But yeah,
But they fixed it. And it does sound like
I think they fixed it by now. But I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm sure by the time that this becomes podcast form that it will be fixed.
Yeah. And it does sound like it's a one-time use it and then it goes away type of deal. So you become lucky friends. Once you completed a trade, your status will then return to best friend. And you'll know because it'll pop up on the screen, hey, you're lucky friends. And I guess you'll stay lucky friends until you do a trade. But it says after you complete the trade, it'll return back to best friend status, and then you can do it again. So you can trigger lucky friends over and over again.
Yeah, and there's been mixed reports on whether you can trigger it multiple times, like trigger lucky friends multiple times a day.
It says
No one has provided evidence that you can trigger more than one a day, but people have claimed that they've been able to
if
trigger
that's true, then it's a glitch because they specifically say it's once a day that you have a chance to trigger it. So the intent is trigger it once, use it, and then move on.
Stuff's broken every time time something new comes out, right?
Yeah.
But apparently apparently they have fixed it. According to chat, they're saying that the issues only lasted for about 3 hours, and now it's fixed. So
good.
So but they still didn't implement the great idea of lucky friends being able to trade regardless of distance. So you have to be close in order to do the trade.
I'm gonna have so many lucky friends that are going to be distant because of just doing this show and hooking up with people here and tadpoolers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Tadpoolers?
Tadpoolers.
Yeah.
So the other shows I do are on the Frog Pants Network. They're
called
tadpoolers.
Got it.
our nickname for the chat room. There's a couple tadpoolers in here too.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a graphic if you want to share the link to chat, Joe. There's a graphic here that'll be in our show notes as well, on essentially what we just said, but in a nice graphical form of here's how you do it. Here's how here's how you trigger it. Here's how you identify who is your lucky friend, and then here's what happens after you perform the trade. GoHub again put that one up, and it's really good. It's simple,
and it doesn't look too far off from the piece of art that I did a couple weeks ago when this feature was announced, and we didn't know what it looked like. And we had Trolls was going to be a lucky friend. Looks kind of close to that, honestly. Maybe they took some ideas.
Everybody listens to our show. Nobody likes to admit
it. That's right. Exactly.
So now I totally misread this headline, Joe. I thought there was outrage that Salamence may or may not be coming to. I was like, what? Oh, no. Outrage is a movie. Okay, my bad. Possible future outrage about Palkia and Dialga. We're all angry.
I did the same thing. Somebody in the Facebook group said, outrage confirmed. And I'm like, oh, my God. What are players complaining about now?
But this is these are the possible dragons that can get outrage, right? This graphic.
Well, so there's the Twitter source that we've got where outrage was officially confirmed, and then there's another source that you're mentioning now where
it's confirmed for Bag-On Community Day specifically.
Correct.
Correct. Salamence.
But then the other source that you're talking about is the table that shows a bunch of different Pokemon that have dragon type moves, mostly dragons, although there is I did see Rampardos on there as well. But just showing how they stack up. So Rayquaza with Dragon Tail and Outrage is top tier as far as dragon type attackers goes. Salamence with Dragon Tail and Outrage comes in second at having the highest DPS. So,
but this does not confirm that Outrage is going to be available for.
Right.
No, the Twitter source that we've got confirms that Outrage
for Bag-On, for Salamence and Bag-On, but the rest of these are not confirmed yet.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I mean, all
we know so far already have it.
Oh, really? Okay.
So who does it on the? So the list is Rayquaza, Salamence, Palkia.
Outrage is a dragon move that's been available for quite some time, just not to Salamence.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so when I saw that, I thought, oh, okay, it's a new move, kind of like what they've done in the past with Community Days, how the move that's available to that character is one that hasn't been in the game yet, and it's being introduced.
Like Meteor.
Right, Mash. Meteor Smash or right, whatever the one was for Tyranitar and not Crunch, but anyway, whatever it was. So I thought that's what Outrage was a brand new move. So this has been in the game, and these other dragon types.
Yeah. So here, I did a search for my Pokemon that have Outrage.
Yeah. How you just type in at Outrage.
At Outrage.
Yeah.
And I was actually rather surprised. Apparently, my Kangaskhan has Outrage.
Ah, mine too. My Kangaskhan has Outrage too, and Gyarados and Dragonite for me. I have Outrage. Did not know. What about you? I bet you're gonna do a quick.
I could see if I've got some Outrage. So let me see if I get some Outrage.
Check your phone to see if it will let you know if you have Outrage or not.
Outrage.
Apparently, none of my Palkia have Outrage.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
I get a lot of Outrage. Apparently, yeah. All three of my top Rayquazas. Oh, you know why? Because I did the charge moves until I got a Dragon attack for Community Day. So both of my Latiuses, all three of my Latiuses, Dragonites, Kangaskhan.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
He's not a dragon type.
Yeah.
But like Rock Eddie said in the chat, we were talking about last week whether Salamence would get Outrage, Draco Meteor, or what was the other one? Dragon Claw. And so we were talking about that and how it would measure up. Outrage is better for PvE, so for raids, but Dragon Claw would have been better for PvP. So Salamence is still lackluster. I mean, he's lackluster before, and I don't think even Dragonclaw would have made him much better for PvP, simply because he doesn't have the defensive stats needed for PvP. But yeah,
Well, Emmett, despite all your outrage, you're still just a Rattata in a cage.
Oh, nicely done.
Dang it.
To submit that as a title.
You know what? Thank you. That thing would be a great title.
Yeah.
So
It's a
we've
long
got.
one, but it's a good one.
And you're already imagining the artwork.
I'm already imagining the artwork. And leave off the Ibit, so it's just despite all my outwork, I'm still just a Rattata in a cage.
Yeah. Now we've got two. This is rare that we have two updates on Androids, the APK and the actual update that just came out. The short version, and I'm sure there's other stuff to it here, Joe, but the short version of the 139.2 update, Android has a better AR photo quality, because I know that's been an issue for a while with Android users, a complaint, I guess, as it were. So, wow, the before and after really are blatantly different. Holy cow. So that's a good update for everybody. That actually is live right now in the game. And then we've got the APK that has not hit yet, that is got a whole lot of cool stuff in it. What are we getting there, Joe?
we have all kinds of fun stuff. Some of it has already been reported, but we haven't talked about it specifically on the show. For instance, they've got new Mewtwo forms, which based on the verbiage, I don't know what they're getting at, to be honest, because it says it's got Mewtwo A Intro, and Mewtwo Normal. And I don't know what
normal form Mewtwo, and maybe something with Detective Pikachu.
Yeah,
maybe. So maybe we get some skins for him, but it's because the only forms that he has in the main series games, the only alternate forms are his EX forms. He's got Mewtwo X and Mewtwo Y. And so the did I say EX forms? I meant Mega forms. The Mega forms. And
I think you said Mega. I don't know.
Yeah. And so we'll see. We'll have to wait and see what this turns into.
So what if it's just like they did the poses with avatars? What if it's the stance? Because I'm specifically am I the only person who's like, why did you show Mewtwo in the previews? That should have been a great reveal in the movie. But in the trailer,
maybe they're saving Meltan for
maybe
Mewtwo's the big exposure, but Melmetal's gonna come out at the end.
And just punch Mewtwo right in the face.
Yeah, but you know when Mewtwo comes through the balloon, that's the big reveal in the trailer, and that super villain pose he has. I've got it up on the screen, his standard pose that we have. Maybe these are poses. Maybe he'll if we earn something, he'll stand differently and look differently.
Yeah.
We know they're doing it with Avatar, so they can do that here. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
And Eddie said, and this might be a decent prediction, that maybe it's it has something to do with the new games that are going to come out later this year. Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Sure, yeah. Because sometimes these things will be in there for months to a year or more before it gets actually released.
As far as I know, they haven't confirmed an official release date for Sword and Shield, though everyone's anticipating either late October or November, just so because they like to release them for the holiday season. So
yeah, there's some stuff here about fire, some coding. Does that tell you anything? That coding there about Firebase platform?
I haven't personally worked with Firebase, but it looks like it's has something to do. It's a library, and it has something to do with analytics and stats. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe they're trying to roll out what we've been asking for all along. Basically, Pokegenie inside the game. Because stats, right?
Yeah, probably not.
Joe, you always take away my dreams. And you're never wrong, so damn it.
Because that's not really a statistic. It's just a number, and it's already there. They wouldn't need anything extra for it.
Statistics are numbers.
Yeah. But They're compiled numbers.
So there's
The
a
IVs are just their individual values. That's what it stands for.
That's what IVs are. Yeah.
I get you. There's a lot of stuff here that doesn't sound like we know much about it. Like they're saying it might
Yeah,
be
it's a lot of technical stuff. Make it
Yeah.
adding additional multi-threading, new functionality for push notifications. But yeah, a lot of this is just back end stuff.
I'm
The only thing-
curious to you guys who play all the time, because before, right, this killed the battery, then updates killed the battery even faster. I don't play that much, and I just got a newer phone. I mean, I had an iPhone 8 for over a year. I didn't notice much of an issue on my iPhone 8 when I played community days with it. Are you noticing that the battery demand is less or same as before? Like, I mean, you just went and did the lunch
I
hour.
I haven't noticed a difference, so it feels like it's exactly the same.
Because I was hoping that maybe some of this could, like the multi-threading, it'd like
Yeah.
we'll do it a little bit
Taking
faster,
some
so
of
it
that
takes
out.
less energy to That's what I was thinking.
No, I haven't noticed change, which is good. I mean, that means the updates haven't gotten worse.
Right.
Yeah, it's consuming enough battery as it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you can definitely tell who's playing Pokemon Go because they've got their phone hooked up to an external battery most of the time.
Yeah. All right. Moving forward. We have Easter coming up, which means more bunny types in the game. Or it actually means just egg stuff, which is cool. Just eggs. But we did this. They did this.
Well,
they've done
by more bunny
last
types, we can get a shiny version of a bunny type that we haven't had before.
So this first one that I'm looking at, I imagine, is the official announcement. It is the Hop to Pokemon GO Extravaganza. Then another link we have at the same time is from Sylph Road. So I will pull up the news on the screen if you want to go to the Sylph Road one, Joe.
Sure. We can use both
Yeah.
concurrently. I mean, it's okay.
Well, everybody got the news, so yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, talk
All
about what Sylph Road found out.
So, baby Pokemon are going to be popping up in 2K eggs more often. Shiny Baniri and Lopunny will be available. So, nice and pink. We're going to get some limited time egg focused research. We're going to have half hatch distance. So maybe I'll wait to put all those 10K eggs until this
There
event
you
starts
go.
on the 16th.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
So it's going to be a week-long event, the 16th to the 23rd. And they've got the half hatch distance, double hatch candy, 1 hour lucky eggs, and they're mixing up what's going to be hatching from eggs. And part of that is the baby Pokemon popping up in 2K eggs more frequently.
Yeah, that's the one it'd be part of that. We don't know what the rest of that is. And that's interesting. I mean, this seems like, again, another opportunity for them to do another trickle release of some more Gen 4s. But I guess they would probably announce that, though.
Who knows?
Who knows? 'Cause
Every
they've done
time
that too, where they've
we
said,
try to figure them out, they're just like, oh,
right. When
just
you,
kidding.
when you think they're going to go left, they turn right.
And yeah, the adventure box is still available in the store. So if you've got the coins for it, grab it.
Oh, I need
Because
to
it's
do
got
that.
11 super incubators and 4 regular incubators. So plus those star pieces, if you're going to be hatching a bunch, I plan on popping a star piece when I hatch all 8, hopefully 9 10K eggs. That'd be nice.
I am down to 691 coins.
What? You've
Yeah,
spent all
man.
your, what was it, 10,000 that they gave you 2 years ago?
It was that $100 bundle. So let's see. I think that's about right. The Hyundai is 14,500.
14,500.
So yeah, I spent it down to 691, and every once in a while I put one in the gym and get up to 50 coins or whatever. But yeah, I kind of need them to have a bad go fast so we can get some more money and make it last for 2 years.
Just so you can get some
just
more
yeah, I just need the money.
Chicago gold.
Yeah. So cool. I mean, it's fun. It was fun last year. It's a really obvious, and I mean that in a good way. It's a really obvious thing to do. That if they didn't, we'd be like, "Why are you not doing this?" So it's very, and then we'll get new shiny, possible, and it's in the game. We might actually capture it possibly during the event, and it's a week, give or take.
April 16th to April
23rd.
23rd.
Yeah. Cool. So, yeah, man, that's going to be cool. And then one last thing here, Latios is back during a special raid week.
Yep, almost the same exact overlap. I mean, minus a day, and it's the same time frame as
when they shifted back. Yep.
Yeah, gotcha. The egg event. So it's the 15th to the 22nd.
And you can get a shiny.
Shiny will be available. Yep. His shiny is green instead of blue. So
now, do we think we're gonna get a Latios after it?
We just had a Latios event.
Did we? Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I knew I wasn't going to go try for it, so I'm sorry. It just kind of went.
That's the one where my wife did one raid, got a shiny.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
raids, got no shinies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the end of February.
Oh wow, was it that long ago? Yeah, I guess it wasn't March at all, huh?
Well, it's still recent enough. I mean, it's not a big deal. So yeah, there you go. That's good. So April's going to be pretty jam packed with stuff to do in the game. When is a community event?
This weekend.
So is this
Saturday? Saturday from 3 to 6.
Oh, you know what? That might work out. So I'm working a Warrior Dash as a medic this weekend, and we'll have to see what singles
hold on, I know you broke your leg.
Yeah,
but
well,
I've gotta catch this Pokemon.
It ends by 4:30, so hopefully, because it starts stupid early in the morning. Racers, man, you guys are crazy. It's like deer hunters. You get up before the sun to go do things that can be done in the sunlight. I don't understand, but that's because I like to sleep. And I don't exercise. But it starts really early in the morning, so by 2, it should be thinning down fairly well because they do them in waves and whatnot. But, yeah, I'll be out working a run and probably won't be near – I imagine we're not going to be near any stops or anything, but, Jesse, if I put on
incense?
Thank you. That's what I was trying to say, incense. Then
Which
maybe
is
I
also
can
in that current adventure box. There you go. Get your incubators and some incense.
Yeah. All right. So we have got some phone calls. Now, this one I have to apologize for. Aiden Talon called in about a month ago, and I think I was out for a week or 2 in a row. Our schedules were really weird, and I forgot to check it and send it to you guys. And then last week I forgot to play it, so this is all on me. I apologize. But, Aiden, here is your voicemail, and please call back again.
Hey, Pokemon GO Podcast, Aiden Talon here, first-time caller, long-time listener. Hey, I was on break playing Pokemon GO back in, I believe it was November.
I know we did play this one, didn't we?
Shed Ninja stuff was all going down. How getting back into this?
Yeah, we did play this. So, good. I don't feel so bad. Good. I'm glad we answered your question, Aiden. But it is important to us. I just didn't delete it off the list. Because I remember he asked about what's the best way to get back into it. We all gave some advice on how to do that.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. So this next one is from Anonymous, which actually made me listen to it ahead of time because we just want to be sure. Because typically we just play him raw on the air.
It's a Nigerian prince who would like us to send him a bunch of gold.
Pokecoins. He wants all the Pokecoins.
Yeah. Exactly, yes. All right. So here we go.
Hey guys. I'm not going to use any names or places just to protect the innocent, but I wanted to get you guys to weigh in on a little thing going on in our Pokemon GO group in our little town. Essentially, we have some members within the group that are now reporting other players for not leaving other Pokemon in gym for the full 8 hours to receive all 50 Pokecoins. How do you suggest dealing with such players within a fairly small Pokemon GO group? Thanks, guys. Love the podcast. Have a great day.
So they're reporting abuse because their Pokemon's getting kicked out before the 8 hours is up?
That's just abusive reporting.
Yeah, exactly.
Is
it reporting? He didn't say, though, reporting to Niantic. It could be just reporting to their little group. Like
I would assume it's reporting to Niantic.
You think so? It seems like so
petty. Yes, I.
Yeah, extremely petty.
I mean, it's only
Yeah.
30 seconds long. We can play it again just if we want to get another listen on
No,
this.
that's all right.
Okay. I mean, my read was when he says reporting, my read is, reporting abuse or reporting something wrong with the game on players because they got taken out before the 8 hours is up. I'm sorry, Phil Keating, Dennis Robinson, who had his one stuck in the gym for 46 days before it came back to him. He wished somebody
I
had
thought
kicked
it was
out.
even longer than that.
It might have been longer. It was definitely over 40-something days it was in there because nobody flipped the gym. And, that's just as bad. I mean, what's he going to do, report every player who didn't flip the gym to get his player? But the question is not that is it bad or good, because obviously he thinks that is bad. How do you deal with it when it's a tight okay, let's just take each of your main playing groups. How would you address this in your Arvada and then Joe in your Discord group that's tight-knit players?
Just suck it up and deal with it.
Yeah. I mean, I think probably the best way, especially if you're a little small town, like he said he was in, a bunch of close-knit players, just talk to them and say, hey, can we work out a system where red fills up the gym on Mondays and blue fills up the gym on Tuesdays, and stuff like that. I mean, there's got to be a nicer way to do it than just reporting Niantic. It's like people use the emergency 911 because McDonald's didn't put cheese on their Big Mac or something.
That's
like
a true story, people. Google it.
I know. We get stories. I hear the stories about that all the time.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't apply. The people who are in the group are close knit. I'm obviously not as big a part of the local Discord groups, so I'm not that close.
Charles doesn't like people.
Hey,
there's that guy who wants to raid on Community Day.
I'm just saying, it worked out for me. I got my whatever attack form Giratina on the raid day, but on a whatever. But I'm like, the people around here we have a bit of a sick, twisted humor. The ones I've talked to. I think they're like, oh, okay, you want to report that I knocked you out in 4 hours, so put it back in. And for 3 weeks, all I'm going to do is bury it, like with berries. Just make sure you just have all the time in the. I mean, I think that's how they would handle it here.
Holding it hostage, basically. It's never going to get out of that.
Because they will also the ones I've seen, and there's some groups. The one group I helped found on Discord. And by help found, I just literally went, hey, you guys should be on Discord. And I helped them set it up, and then I turned it over. I mean, really, I don't want to oversell what I did because the nice person running it, I mean, she does super well with it. It's all her. But they are big groups. They have a lot of good rules on how to handle these things. But the smaller groups, those guys and ladies will use 4-letter words very quickly to tell you what they think of that. So that's not something that would really happen in our group around here, I don't think, because they'll just call you out in a heartbeat on it. It's weird. It is weird that it's by nature a community game, which I for whatever reason I abhor. I hate that it's a community game. I've always been a solo gamer for the most part on everything I do. But that these people are abusing a system that is meant to actually report issues. I don't know. I'm sorry, man. Sorry, Mr. Anonymous, that you had to that your group is or people around you are doing that.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I mean, I don't know any other way to combat that besides just talking to them and saying, hey, can we work out some situation? And all it would take is just some form of communication, Discord, Facebook, something like that, where they can kind of all get in there and say, okay, I just put so and so in the gym. Feel free to knock him out feel free to knock out all the reds in 9 hours, put yours in, we'll leave them there for the next 9 hours or something. I mean,
yeah, I mean, you could absolutely. I mean, that would benefit the whole community, right? Everybody wins.
Totally. Yeah.
That 8 hours is up. We're going to knock it out, and Valor takes over, and then tomorrow morning or however the next 8 hours plays, if it's still within playable hours, the next Mystic knocks it out, and then just keep. Monday Mystic, Tuesday Valor, Wednesday. I don't know. I mean, if it's that small of a community, right?
Mhm.
And then you'll always have an outlier. You'll have a Berry folk come through your town and flip them all red, But that won't happen as much if you just talk to each other.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eddie has an interesting solution.
Sure.
Start playing Ingress and then submit stuff to become gyms.
There you go.
Well, that's good if you're in what's the one? Taiwan is the one that just got beta
No,
access.
Ingress you can.
Oh, Ingress. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Not the Pokestops. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Ingress, and then so that's a loophole you can kind of get in that way. Interesting.
Yeah, it's the thing, man. Ah. I get jealous of Terry Wolf. It seems like everybody in the blizzard-laden, barren lands north of the wall, up in the Colorado, Chicago area, y'all have better groups. I mean, Terry talks about how they play. Barry talks about how they play. You talk about how your group play. I mean, that's the first even semi-negative report I've heard from you in your area. It's I get a little jealous. Although then I'd feel bad.
Your country.
Yeah. Well. There's something to be said about that.
That's right. Yes.
Oh man, it's getting kind of late. Joe, what time is it, man? What you got?
It is time for random trivia. And this week, I wanted to talk about Baniri and its evolved form Lopunny. They are both the rabbit Pokemon, which I find odd since Baniri is based off of bunny and ears.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Lopunny, the last part of it is based off of
Bunny, right?
bunny. So you would think they would be the bunny Pokemon.
What would just while you're on the names, what's the first part of
I would think lop,
Bunny?
like a lop-eared bunny.
All right.
Yep,
all right.
like floppy ears, lop.
Yeah, all right. I got you.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they are normal type Pokemon, and they are rabbits rather than bunnies. Although, like I said, I think it should be the other way around.
Well, I mean, I know there's a scientific technical difference, but for
No,
most
how
people,
dare you.
they're like, they're rabbits and bunnies are the same. I don't know.
Oh, next thing you're gonna be saying that llamas and alpacas are the same, Charles. I'm
Aren't
done.
they?
with this.
Aren't
How dare you?
they? They both spit at you and they have fur. I don't understand. They look like weird horses. I don't get it. Why are they different?
Have you never seen Emperor's New Groove?
Yeah.
That's right. David Spade turns into
A llama.
Into a llama, yeah,
Yeah.
not an alpaca. Yes.
All right.
Anyway, Baniri's Pokedex entry mentions that it slams its foes by uncoiling its ears, and
Okay.
it stings enough to make a grown-up cry in pain. I mean, that's
Wow.
not that great. I mean, that's pretty pathetic as far as Pokemon goes, since you're supposed to be fighting other Pokemon. But whatever. Make a grown-up cry in pain because you smack them with your ears.
I'm gonna smack your Pokemon so hard you're gonna cry.
Yep. And then the Lopunny Pokedex entry talks about how it's an extremely cautious Pokemon and that it cloaks its body with its fluffy ears when it senses danger. So it uses the ears as a shield. And surprisingly, Lopunny does have a Mega Evolution. So when those come around, you can evolve into Mega Lopunny. Try saying that 5 times fast. And the trouble though with Mega Lopunny, its main focus is speed. In fact, it has the highest base speed of all normal type Pokemon. The trouble is with Pokemon Go, speed isn't taken into account very well. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So Lopunny looks like a caricature of a bunny girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, little on the trying to look like a little sexy Pokemon kind of.
Yeah, yep. But that's Lopunny, I guess.
Yeah.
So it hasn't popped up a ton in the anime.
She's a Playboy Lopunny.
Perhaps that's why it hasn't popped up much in the anime.
Yeah.
The the trivia even talks about how it has faux fur handcuffs
Oh, jeez.
on it. So
Wait, is that
anyway,
holding its hands up with the fur around the hands in this? Is that what
I
that's?
thought they were like
Yeah.
pom-poms, but maybe,
Maybe.
you're right.
They're
yeah,
just,
I mean
they're
they're not connected.
Yeah, no, I mean.
But
So is this pink the shiny form?
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, the pink instead of the tan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And almost a purplish instead of brown.
Yeah,
At least on the earlier ones. Later ones are definitely more brown. Like Diamond and Pearl, it looks like almost like a lavender.
Yeah, I
All the way
see. Yeah.
Platinum and Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but yeah, once you start getting into Ultra, Sun and
And
Moon,
you get down to Sun and Moon, it's almost a pale brown.
it's a light brown. Yeah,
Yeah.
pale brown. Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. Well, I mean, the pink at least makes it very easy to know if you got a shiny.
Mm-hmm.
And do we think possibly, maybe the shiny form will show up on the map to make our life a little bit easier? No. Okay.
I doubt that'll happen yet. I hope it'll happen eventually,
You'll
but
find Pokegenie in the game a lot sooner than you find shinies on the map, I think.
Yeah.
well, and you weren't here last week, right, Brian?
I was not.
So we actually talked about last week about how if you got photo bombed by a shiny Ash Hat Pikachu,
Very well said. Good, slow, careful saying of that.
that on the overworld it actually appeared shiny.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting.
So
But it was only that one, and it was confirmed that it happened. But I don't. Did we confirm? Because I remember if you
Did
said
it show up with the hat too?
on the overworld,
Yeah.
the
Okay.
overworld. But was that intended? Is my question. Well, I mean, did Niantic do that on purpose, or was it kind of a
I think
glitch?
they would
that
have
happened?
to, right? Because I mean, the default on everything, like even Witch's Hat Pikachu's didn't show up on the
Originally, they didn't show up on the overworld. It's when you opened it, you saw they had a hat.
yeah,
or
that's when
something.
you saw the Witch's Hat, right? Or
I think
am
now they do show up
No.
with the hats.
yeah, you can see the hats on the overworld.
Can you see the hats on the overworld?
Can't you?
Yeah, now I
Now,
think
now you're
you
making
can.
me question myself.
I know. It's the Mandela effect. It's like, did they? I didn't think they did. I didn't think we could see the hats on the map.
On the map. It's the map. On the map. God, I hate
All
that
right,
name of
Dora.
that movie.
That's how you could definitely tell who's got the younger kids. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the map type Pokemon?
yeah.
They've got shields, they've got swords. Where's the map?
Swiper, no swiping.
Yeah.
They've got the alphabet.
Kind of.
Anyway,
But I think if you collect all of the, was it 26 unknowns? Then, what?
28.
28. All the 28 unknowns.
Punctuation.
Then you open up the Curse of the Mummy. So I don't really want to get them. What's the mummy one in here? It's Snoring stuff. Not Snoring.
Oh yeah, right. There's a
Dang
Dust
it.
Noir.
Dust. Yeah,
Dust Noir.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the
Mhm.
Curse of the Dust Noir is if you collect them all. So, all right. Do we have any kind of tips? Anything that's been jogging your memory lately? Or are we good for today, gentlemen?
I think we're good.
Make sure you bring a water bottle to Go Fest if you're
Mhm.
coming.
Oh yeah.
But you need to stay hydrated.
Here's a tip: be nice to your fellow players, whether they're taking their Pokemon or kicking your Pokemon out of the gym early, or they're venturing into a part of town that they don't usually go into for for lunch hour. You know, be nice to your fellow Pokemon players. That's all I'm going to say.
That's fair. All right. So voicemail. If you want to call in like we had tonight, you can go to PokemonGoPodcast.com, and right there on the right-hand side of the screen, there's a nice little tab. You click that, 90 seconds, and any device with a microphone that will connect to the internet, and you can leave a voice message. You don't have to make it 90 seconds, but that is the max that it allows for you to put out there. Email show@PokemonGoPodcast.com if you'd rather us read your words than have your voice on the air, and that's fine. Reddit is r/Pokemon Go Podcast, where you can put in your news, especially if you find out about tickets. Go post it there for us. Or tag us over on Facebook.com/Pokemon Go Podcast, or at us on Twitter @Pokemon Go Pod. We'd love to hear it there. If you are coming late to the show, we record this live on Thursdays from 7:30 p.m. to whenever we get done on twitch.tv/Pokemon GO Podcast. So you can download it in its audio gloriousness from any kind of catcher out there. It's iTunes based. So anything out there that catches podcasts, you can get this show and listen to it while you play, while you go to work, all those things. If you're listening to the podcast and you love to see some of the games that we do, some of the gameplay we do, and see our lovely, talented faces, come over to twitch.tv/Pokemon GO Podcast on Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Merch. And hey, you know what? We've got Pokemon Go Fest coming up, so buy a Pokemon Go t-shirt. Tiny
Represent.
Yeah, man. I'm going to be wearing mine. And actually, we're working on, when I say working, we've said we should do one, and I kind of hope that Joe or you will do one, because I'm horrible at designs. I wish I could be better.
Cool, like a special Go Fest version.
Yeah, I think we should do yeah, I think we should. Tiny.cc/GSTU. You will need to, now it's a Giant Size Team Up Network, and it has a capital GSTU. So it has all the shows on the network stuff there, but we pop out immediately. You'll find it. And the current shirt is up there with mugs and stickers, and hopefully we're gonna design something else to celebrate Go Fest and have that. But you cannot sell at the festival, so we will not have shirts other than the ones on our backs at the festival. If you want to order it and represent, you need to get out there and get it done. So
we love you, but we're not going to give you the shirts off our backs.
Yeah. Joe, where can they find you on the web?
You can find me at Joseph_art on Twitter.
You can find me at Coverville.
And you can find me at Rock Got a Pod all across social media networks and live on Twitch on Sundays at GSTU Media. And coming up Memorial Day weekend in Atlanta at MomoCon, I'll be doing Geek, Nerd, and Draw with Tony P. Henderson there. That's the next con coming up. And hopefully, if everything goes right, at Pokemon Go Fest this year. So, all right. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for being a part of what we do. If you're here live, stick around for just a second. We play a little game of how to name the show. And if you're on the podcast, thank you for downloading and listening. We definitely appreciate it. Tune in next week to hear Joe say.
Probably something about Go Fest, because let's face it, we're going to talk about it just about every week until we get there.
That's fair.
Yep.
All right, that's the podcast. So as long as it takes to render, people can vote. I'm sure Nicole has put the link in the chat. So everybody, if this is your first time playing, there's a link there in the chat that says
There will be, because there, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
it's not
opening
there
up.
just-
I'm opening up the chat now. There it is. As
There it
she's
is.
stood in.
Thank
It's that
you, Nicole.
Showbot link. So
Yeah,
you
see-
click that.
What you guys don't know is we banned Charles from the chat because he gets distracted too.
It's the reality of life, man. I can't argue with that.
While they're voting on that, just as an FYI, I reached out to the contact that I had last year for GoFest to ask if there's going to be media passes this year. I sent them an email,
Oh, cool. Good.
so we'll see what they say. They may just ignore me, but hopefully not. There we go. Someone just submitted the "Despite all my rage."
I
Good.
did because I wanted to
Well,
vote
that's
for
fine.
it.
For that one, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was Charles did it.
Charles
Yeah.
did it. Well, about time, Charles. Guess
Yeah.
that's what you get when you ban him from the chat. You don't get the
Nigerian Pokecoins is amazing. So here are your choices. Nigerian Pokecoins by TVZ Gone. Playboy Lopunny by Mr. Tambourine. Despite all my outrage, I'm still just a Rattata in the cage by me. And outrage confirmed by Nicole 0991.
I'm totally throwing a vote to Rattata in a cage. I like that one. Three-way tie for first place, though. I do like outrage confirmed too, but they're all four are really good. All four lend themselves well to artwork, although
One of them
funny. Yeah,
not as family friendly as
I don't know. I think it would be really funny to do an open magazine with like the centerfold being a play. I think actually that would be really funny.
Yeah,
So-
and in all reality,
And it would be
yeah.
PG. It would be G rated. It wouldn't be.
I mean,
anything.
Howard the Duck had a magazine. I'm saying,
Right. Play Duck.
yeah. Fabian is super happy because they could submit Pokestops now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't mention too is that if you they've added emojis now because of Detective Pikachu, so you can actually do hashtag Charmander, hashtag Pikachu, hashtag Bulbasaur, I think, and
Where?
hashtag in Twitter, and it'll automatically put in the appropriate icon.
All right, that's cool.
Here it is: Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Charmander, Mewtwo. So no Pikachu.
I like to holla. Forget shiny luck. Give me GoFest ticket luck.
Yeah, no kidding.
As of last week, TVZ gone no. As of last week, it was only certain parts of the world still that can do it, and the most of North America was not a part of that. So, and Fabian's in Costa Rica, which is below that line of who can do it. So, but yeah. So all right, or three-way tie with 4 each is what I'm trying to say. Probably gonna go with the red tie, but these were good. You guys submitted some great ones this week.
Yeah, I know they're all good. I'll do any one of them. Next vote takes it. So 1 vote on any of those first 3. There it is, right there. Playboy Lopunny. Apparently, that's all it took, right there. All right, Playboy Lopunny, it is.
Mr. Tamarain wins. I think they opened up a second Twitch account and voted. Shenanigans is what I'm saying. Shenanigans. All right. Well, you win. So that's cool. Have fun with that. All right. Well, hopefully everything will work out this weekend where I'll bring some Community Day stories back for our adventures next week.
Yeah. I honestly had forgotten that it was this weekend. So that's fun.
Yeah. Did you have plans for this weekend already?
I do, but one of the things that I'm going to be doing that could start at 3, I might be able to push it till 4, is at a place where there is a Pokestop at the place. So I could easily just and it's in Old Town Arvada, which is loaded with Pokestops. So I could easily say, hey, I'll be there at 4 o'clock, and I could take an hour and just really quickly zip through town and get stuff.
Cool.
There's ways around it.
So I put Bag on Community Day in my calendar, and it auto-corrected to Bacon Community Day.
Bacon Community Day.
Which is ironic because I mentioned last week that there's actually a bacon festival happening here at the same time as Community Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Where you pay to get in, and then I guess you don't have to pay for bacon that's going to be at all the different stands.
It depends on how they set it up. Yeah.
Yeah,
if it's a sample
their
thing,
Facebook page, that's how it is.
Oh, who suggested Playboy Lopunny?
Ego. No, yeah.
Mr. Tamarain 19.
Mr. Tamarain 19, okay.
Which there's actually a tie now.
But he got it in first. That vote came in first.
Nigerian Pokecoins.
Yeah, that was the rule. I said next vote takes it. And it's Mr. Tambourine, all one word. I think I've done.
Yeah, Mr. Tambourine 19.
Cool.
Yes, Fabian, very much Murica, the Bacon Festival.
You know what? Hey, bacon, totally. We'll own that.
Yeah.
If it was like deep fried Twinkies, then I'd be like, I know, it's a bummer. But, bacon, proudly bacon country.
Deep fried bacon.
That's right. All right. I'm going to go. I nibbled a little bit while I was cooking dinner. I'm going to go eat it.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
See y'all.